So today we are back in the kitchen. We usually are eating on this channel, but I thought it'd be fun for a change to mix it up a little bit and actually cook. We're gonna be making two things today that are gonna be really good for Super Bowl Sunday. Super Bowl Sunday is tomorrow. So if you're going for somebody in the Super Bowl, good luck to your team. That's basically what it's like to be a Redskins fan. The first recipe we are going to try today is called pizza knots. I know that sounds really weird. I actually got this recipe online and I've never tried it before. I'd never heard of it. I'd never eaten it. So I was like, ooh, this is something that I would personally incorporate in like a party for me or my family. The link for where I got it is actually gonna be in the description if anybody wants to go check out the website where I got this from. And then the second recipe we're gonna be doing are pigs in a blanket. I feel like pigs in a blanket are like a very common, pretty traditional party snack. Some people make them differently, so I'm gonna be showing you guys how I or my family actually makes theirs. I hope you guys like today's video. If you like videos like these and want me to do more, be sure to give this video a big old thumbs up. And if you're new, hit that sub button with your bunny paw. Now it is time to cook. So what we're gonna need for this recipe for the pizza knots are 1 buttermilk Grant's Pillsbury biscuits. I got flaky layers, but the website that I got this from actually used Southern style. I don't know why I was thinking flaky layers instead of Southern style because I was thinking biscuits. So I'm not sure how this is gonna turn out. This is already like a little bit of an adaptation, I guess, to that recipe. So we'll see how this goes. I am using Kraft Philadelphia mozzarella cheese, and then we're gonna need mini pepperonis, and then you're also going to need butter, garlic, parsley. They call for chopped fresh parsley. I grabbed parsley flakes, olive oil, Parmesan cheese, and that's it for the recipe. Other than what I showed you guys, I'm going to have everything, all the recipes, everything like that in the description box as well. So if anybody ever has any questions, you can just look right down in the description box for all the information. We have 2/3 cup of mozzarella. Doesn't really look like a lot, but I guess that's what it calls for. And then 1/2 cup of mini pepperonis. Oh, they look so like cute and small, and they're like teeny, like they're so teeny. So what you're gonna do first is preheat your oven to 400 degrees. The reason why you want to preheat your oven to 400 degrees before you even start cooking is so it's preheated by the time you are done, so you don't have to wait, because some ovens take forever to preheat, some are really fast. It just depends on your oven. And then we're gonna take 2 tablespoons of butter, which is about that. If you use stick, which is what I use like butter sticks, they already have like usually on the stick like what 1 tablespoon is, what 2 tablespoons are, so you don't even have to like try to measure them. You just cut basically where it says. That's what I did. Or you want to warm it up in the microwave so it melts, and then we're gonna add the rest of the ingredients to the butter. I just melted my butter right here, so it's all melted. There's no like little clumps or anything like that, and it took me about 20 seconds in the microwave. Now we're gonna add the parsley, the Parmesan cheese, and the garlic. So in the recipe it calls for 2 cloves of garlic, which usually equals out to about 2 teaspoons. If you're not the biggest garlic fan, you could probably get away with doing like 1 teaspoon of garlic most likely. I'm going to do 2 teaspoons because I am a garlic fan. I like garlic. Here is a little teaspoon. I'm not going to do heaping teaspoons either because garlic is strong, so I went a little bit underwhelming for the 2nd teaspoon, just again, so it's not like too, sometimes minced garlic can be very, very strong. So yeah, and then we have 2 tablespoons of parsley. Again, I'm just using parsley flakes. I'm trying to make it like the easiest way possible to basically make this that's like realistic. I've never actually like gotten garlic and made cloves out of it, and I've never cut up fresh parsley. So to me, this is just a little bit more of a realistic way that I would make this. For the Parmesan cheese, they call for 1/2 cup. We have our Parmesan cheese. I'm gonna pour it into a bigger bowl. That way when I whisk it, it has a lot more room. We need 1/4 cup of olive oil just to make sure that it's wet enough. Oh. I'm using Great Value olive oil. It's whatever. So this is what's really gonna make this like a very thin, and then we're just gonna whisk it around. Whisk it around, whisk it around, whisk it around. Hey, 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 hey. So here's what it looks like. It's very liquidy very watery. I don't know if you guys can really see that. It smells a lot like Caesar dressing because of the Parmesan cheese. Like it's a very heavy Parmesan cheese smell. So it smells really good. So now I'm gonna put this to the side and I'm gonna be using a cutting board to basically be flattening out all of my biscuits and cutting them into half. It's kind of strange when you read it or when you hear me say it. So you're gonna take each biscuit, you're gonna flatten it out, basically like a little piece of pizza dough. And then you're gonna like your little circle, you're gonna top it with a little bit of this, put some of that on there. You're gonna put your cheese, some pepperoni in there, and then you're gonna cut that in half. And then you're gonna take that half and you're gonna like roll it and basically knot it up. 4 biscuits yield 8 rolls. Let's put everything we're gonna be using. Pop this bad boy. I could never get it to pop until I did this. Hey! Oh! That's like my favorite part. When I was younger, my mom used to make Pillsbury, Doughboy, cinnamon rolls all the time, and they were like my favorite thing for her to make because she would always like let me pop it, and that, I don't know why, that was just so much fun to me to pop. So we have 4 of our doughs. And if you get the ones that I got, which are like the flaky, not the southern style, be careful when you're pulling them apart because they are meant to be flaky and like you're supposed to be able to pull them. So make sure you don't like undercut any of them. I'm gonna put my doughs right here. I'm gonna work one at a time instead of all of them at once. Now you're gonna flatten them. You wanna use a rolling pin, but I am regular house holding it up and I don't have a rolling pin. So I'm gonna be using a cup. If you use a cup, you usually wanna put flour on it so the dough does not stick. You can use a cup that's like this. Just try to make sure there's nothing like there's like a lot of grooves or anything like that on it, so that way the dough doesn't like get caught in those places and then you pull your dough apart. Just put a little bit of flour on your cup, not a lot. I put a lot, but you know, it's okay. It's just to kind of prevent it from sticking to your dough. See how much easier that happens when you don't, when you use flour and you don't just try to YOLO it. It really helps a lot. And then it also helps for you to flatten it out a lot easier. And now we're just going to put a little bit of this on there. I want to get it at least like a thin layer, basically kind of like all around it. Remember, you are going to be cutting this in half though, so don't do too small of a circle. Then we're going to put some Parmesan cheese. Not a lot, just a little bit. Again, remember not to put everything directly in the middle because we are going to be cutting this in half. And don't put too much because when you have this little, it's so easy to put too much on accident because you're just like, oh, what the heck? That's a huge piece. Anyways, it's really easy to put, like, we have our little mini pizza right here. Okay, I'm going way overboard. You don't need a knife like this, but I would use a sharp knife. Definitely don't use, I wouldn't use like a serrated knife, like a steak knife. I wouldn't do a butter knife just because it might not really be sharp enough. A butcher knife's just sharp and literally that's all it took. Now we have our 2 halves and I'm going to fold it like this way, hot dog style. And then we're gonna fold this one this way. Again, hot dog style. And we wanna make sure that like everything kind of gets tucked in nicely. So if there's any like little leftover pepperonis, honestly, you could probably just roll it like that as well. But you wanna make sure that the dough is covered like all the edges and it's stuck together, basically. If it's a little bit too much flour, you could maybe grab a little bit of something like this just to wet it a little bit so that it'll stick better. And then stretch it out a little bit. You don't have to do too much, but remember, you're gonna try to make it into a knot. Okay? Okay. So it's kind of how it looks. And then I'm just very gently kind of stretching it out a little bit so I can knot it. Once it gets thin enough, okay. Now we're going to knot it. And we did it. We knotted it. It's not the most beautiful knot in the world. Remember, it's a dough knot. It's a dough knot, okay? It doesn't have to look beautiful. It's just going to be a pizza knot. So it's literally a knot. So I got the smallest form spring pan that I have just because they used a skillet, but I don't really have any like deep dish skillets that are like what are shown. If you do have like a wrought iron pan, that'd probably work really well and it'd be kind of cool for presentation. Or if you have like a deep dish skillet, that could be really good as well. I don't have one of those. I only have like a square one and I feel like this would work better with a circle. So you can use either like Pam or like a non-stick cooking spray, but I don't have that, so I'm gonna be using a little bit of olive oil. Oh, jeez. Just to kind of lubricate the bottom so everything doesn't stick and then like get all stuck and you gotta pull it out and then the whole top part comes off, you know? I'm gonna take a paper towel, just pour a little bit in there, and I'm gonna take the paper towel and I'm just gonna like rub it around my form spring pan. That way it saves you so much time trying to do this and make sure everything's covered. and you actually like make sure that everything is covered versus just kind of being like, please get everything covered. It all greased up just a little bit. Again, most of it kind of stays on the napkin anyway. I know this is like a non-stick pan, but I never trust non-stick, honestly. Non-stick just to me is unreliable. So I put our first ball, can you see it? In there, our first pizza knot in there. And then we're gonna do the same thing with this one. Okay, so if you put a little bit too much toppings in here, it is likely that the dough might get stretched a little bit too thin. If it does, that's okay. Remember, it's still raw dough. Just push it back in there, kind of reform the dough a little bit, and for the most part, problem's pretty fixed. When it comes to raw dough, things can be a little bit easier to fix before it gets baked. So don't freak out if you like rip your dough, or if you rip it completely. Yeah, don't freak out. Just kind of like take another piece of dough around it and just kind of overlap it and then pinch it together. And if it's not really working, get something that's a little bit wet, like again, like the oil maybe, and just kind of put on your fingers and then kind of work with it that way. So we got a second knot right in here. You guys can't see, hello? Right in there. Done. We have the whole like outer part of the lining done. We just have to do the middle now. 5 knots left to do, and after doing almost 16 of them, I will say the knots have gotten so much easier to do. It's just like second nature after you do it so much. This was a pretty easy recipe to follow for these. The knotting part was like for me the hardest just because I've never knotted dough before. Another cool thing about this is you could probably do this with like a lot of different type of pizzas. Also, like if you have like somebody who's vegetarian, you could do like an all cheese one, which would be really good. The marinara actually doesn't go on these. The marinara itself is like a side dipping sauce. So you want to make sure that you do have marinara on hand, warm, for people to dip their pizza in. Here's what it looks like. Oh, geez. Now we are going to put the remainder of this butter on these little guys. The way that they did it is everything was really close together. So I pushed all the little knots basically towards the center. And now I'm going to take the remainder of the butter sauce and just put it on there. You want to make sure you get some of this butter sauce drizzled. And then after this, we're going to put mozzarella and pepperoni on top as well. That way when people see it, it looks like a pizza on the outside and it's like a little pizza on the inside. So now I'm just going to use the remainder little bit of cheese that we have and put some of this on top. You can never have too much cheese on pizza, right? So I'm going to actually add a bit more cheese. I'm just going to pour it out so I don't have to like put my hand in there. So I have about like a handful of cheese. I'm just gonna put that on top because everybody loves cheesy pizza. And I'm gonna put the remainder of the little pepperonis on top. Again, just so it looks really cute. We have our little pizza knot circle in the pan. And now we're gonna put it in the oven. The oven has been preheated. It is ready to go. We're gonna put this in for 20 minutes. 20 minutes, it is supposed to be locked and loaded and ready to go. So let's put it in and see how it turns out. For the pigs in a blanket, I got this cute little thing of crescent rolls at Walmart. Pillsbury Doughboy sells like very mini sized cinnamon rolls, grand biscuits, and crescent rolls, which are like, I think there's 4 crescent rolls, and this one's so tiny and so cute. But if you're like, maybe it's just like you making them for yourself, or you and like one other person, you don't want to make a lot of things, you can grab something super tiny like this. I thought that'd be kind of cute to show you guys because I never knew that they made these in such small little containers. I'm going to be using aluminum foil. You can use a cookie sheet, and we have little weenies. I got the Hillshire for beef little smokies. This is what my mom uses. They're like the little smokies. Sometimes she puts cheese in her pigs in a blanket. Sometimes she doesn't. So today I'm not gonna be putting cheese in the pigs in a blanket, but if you wanna put cheese in yours, you can. Basically just apply it the same way we did with the pizza. Ha! This little piggy went to the market. This little piggy stayed home. This little piggy had roast beef. This little piggy had none. If you end up having too much crescent roll dough, you can cut your dough in half and use basically double your dough. So you're gonna wanna bake these for basically the same amount of time that the crescent rolls are gonna go for, which is 13 to 16 minutes, depending on your oven. And you're also gonna cook them on 350 degrees. So my oven at the moment, while it's cooking the pizza, is too hot for this. So I'm not gonna cook it on that. I'm gonna put this little bad boy here, and I'm gonna show you guys what I meant when I said if you have too much dough. So we're just gonna wrap him up in there. See how like he's barely peeking out? This is gonna be a very bready pigs in a blanket. Now if you're using like a hot dog or something a little bit bigger, then one is going to be enough. You're probably gonna wanna like cut your hot dog in half and then do it that way. But if you're using little smokies like this might be a little bit too much dough. I'm going to do exactly what I told you guys not to and use a serrated knife on dough because do as I say, not as I do. And I'm just gonna cut this in half. And if you use the serrated and you just press down, don't drag it, it basically acts as the same thing that like Pillsbury already does, you know? Just acts as like a little, sometimes you actually pull the dough too much. This is why I say don't use a serrated knife. But it's okay, again with the dough, it's very easy to fix. You just kind of press it back together and voila. So now we're gonna grab another little hoagie, a little weenie. We're gonna put them like these, and then we're just gonna boop this up together. And we have our little guy tucked safe and secure, just like a little baby. So look at the difference between cutting in half and not cutting in half. That's it. We're gonna put these little guys on here to cook. You wanna watch your pigs in a blanket a little bit more carefully when you are using tinfoil like this, because sometimes they do tend to cook a little bit faster versus like when you have something like a cookie sheet, it could cook a little bit long, like it takes a little bit longer to cook. So you don't want these to burn. That's the last thing you want, especially for a beautiful crescent roll that tastes so delicious. We're gonna wait for our pizza to get done. There's 8 minutes left, and then we're gonna pop these in for what? I said about 13 minutes, probably 10 to be honest. Okay, so we just pulled this out of the oven. Like it's literally too hot for me to touch. Huh? I guess maybe not too bad. It's not too hot actually. So for just pulling it out of the oven, it's too hot. This thing looks beautiful. It smells so good. Let's get a little pizza knot montage going right now. I have my little bit of marinara or pizza sauce for these little bad boys. They honestly, it's so like aesthetically pleasing. Like I feel like this looks like I got it from somewhere. Like there's no way I could have made this look wise. Now I hope it tastes as good as it looks. It honestly looks so good, especially because all the cheese on top is just melted and it just looks really nice. I want to try these right now with you guys. And then I think I'm gonna have Ant come up here and get what his opinion is on these, if he likes them, if he would like them during the Super Bowl, or just during any party. And then you wanna know what the best thing about the form spring pan is you get to do this. Ta-da! There you go. It's super easy, nobody has to dig their hands in there. It's just like literally just pull apart. This is what it looks like. The bottom of the pan is a little tray for itself. So let's try these. I'm gonna try this little guy right here. And I'm gonna try one bite without the marinara and then a bite with the marinara, just to kind of see, I don't know, how it tastes differently. Why? I want you guys to see how this looks. I don't know if you guys can really tell, but the layers really layered each other.
Oh my God, that looks sexy.
Doesn't it look delicious? Try one.
I can't, Ray.
I need your opinion to see if it's any good or if it's just me. Come on. All right, so now I'm gonna dunk it and see.
What is this, Ray? It's a heart attack.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
It's a heart attack?
Oh my gosh. It's delicious.
Oh my God.
It is so good.
It's like a food explosion in your mouth.
This is honestly probably like one of the best things I think I've ever made in my life.
Oh my God. It's like something you would get like Buffalo Wild Wings good. You know?
You'd want that at a Super Bowl party?
Bro, this thing is fire. Oh my God.
It's so good. I'm gonna take a middle piece.
Ray, don't do it to yourself.
Oh.
What else you making? Bro, this with some hot wings.
I would say if you've never tried making this, make it. It's so easy and it's honestly so worth it.
Give me the middle part, bro. Oh. Why does food have to taste so good?
It's so good. What would you rate this out of 10?
I'm not saying this just to say this. Domino's gotta step their game up. I'm saying if I walk into a Super Bowl party and that's the first thing I taste, I'm gonna eat it all. That's a 10.
Then we got our pigs in a blanket. Now look how cute these ones are. They're like little mini pigs. Versus this is the actual one. It got completely swallowed by the crescent roll. So that's why I said cut your dough in half. Definitely worth it, and it stretches it. I would say, if I'm gonna be honest with you, if you're going to a big Super Bowl party and you do decide to make this, and people like pizza, I would probably make 2 of them. If I'm gonna be honest, I would double the batch.
Because the taste of it's so good, you don't need the sauce. But then when you eat it like that, it's a little bit dry.
It is dry
without the sauce. Yeah, the flakiness,
So what do you think about the pigs in a blanket? Now we're gonna try the pigs in a blanket. They're just a normal little recipe, but they are really fun. And when you do them like this, they're super small and they're so cute.
Tastes like a hot dog. That tastes like a pig in a blanket, bro.
Pig in a blanket, baby.
That right there, though.
Guys, it's so good. That's what's
Touché,
left.
right? That's a 10.
Don't be intimidated by this recipe. It's honestly very, very easy. Again, the hardest thing for me was just knotting everything, but you don't have to really worry about your knots because in the end, it bakes together anyways, so it doesn't matter, and they're very easy to pull apart. Remember, you just pull apart and now you have your own individual pizza bite or pizza knot. So I hope you guys found this video helpful if you guys are maybe doing any appetizers or snacks for a Super Bowl party or just any party in general. I really hope this helps you guys, and I hope you guys like this. If you guys try any of these or either of these recipes, I hope you guys enjoy them as well. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, be sure to give it a big old thumbs up, and if you're new, hit that sub button with your bunny paw.